Let's talk 402390, called The Puzzle Pieces Are Suddenly Coming Together. It's from the artist Simon. The tags are pretty basic, but it's pretty wholesome, so let's jump right into it. The doujin starts out with a classroom setting, and some girl handing something over to a guy. The girl is Ayane Satoke, who's a first-year student and graduated from Warabi Middle School. The main guy freaks out a bit because she attended the same school as him. This situation appeared suddenly, but the girl wants to have a match with Kosho, the main dude, the same girl whose existence threatens his peaceful life. The reason why he's afraid of her is because he used to be an otaku who sustained himself on anime and games. But he changed after realizing that youth is a one-time thing. He parted ways with many of his things, overcame hardships, and attempted to make a comeback far from his hometown. But this mysterious girl knows who he was back then, so he decides to play, and luckily the game wasn't anything special. He just scrolls through characters and ultimately runs out of time, where the game picked this chick for him. The guys around him saying it was a nerdy pick, and he tries to defend himself, but the game started. He's worried about exposing his past, so he'll just quickly lose. As an attack closes in though, he kicks in the %% from Mob Psycho, and ends up beating her. He hands the device back to her and tells her that he doesn't play that stuff anymore. Kosho ends up giving her the cold shoulder, but she's far from home and it's her first year there, so maybe she just feels lonely. As she's about to go though, she wants to ask something. She turns back and asks what anime he's watching this season, to which he says he isn't watching any, and it isn't gonna give her any sympathy. Thus his days of running away from her began, as he figures out what she's after, but she's a complete mystery to him, and he's worried that she's out to blackmail him. It's been over a week since he's been running from her, and he spends his lunch breaks on the stairs. So far all people know is that he's good at gaming, and begins to think something else when Ayane finds him. But before he freaks out, he remembers that something like this may have happened before, though he shouldn't be focusing on that, but rather that she caught him. Ayane just asks why Kosho went for a makeover, which surprises him, but he just gives an honest answer that he wanted a decent student life, to which she asks if everything's going well. And he was able to make friends, but he can't talk to girls. He still thinks about what she's trying to get out of him, though the part about can't talk to girls is false, because she's a girl, of course. She starts to close the gap between them, and starts to ask about what comes after talking to girls. And she continues to lean in, ultimately ending up kissing him. So they have their fun while kissing, and he ends up pinning her and copying a feel. He backs up and apologizes, but she's completely fine with it, to the point where she gives him that blackmail. Sweet, sweet blackmail. Just kidding, she gives him that Gok 3000 baby! And they continue to do the do, but midway through, she confesses her feelings, and as the bell rings, they ditch to continue their exercise. They finish up and they're both happy that they confessed, but she ends up crying tears of joy. And we get a flashback to what he was thinking about when something like that happened before. It showed us younger Kosho at the park, and a group of girls saying they should leave someone behind. The girl they were bullying was hiding in the playground, and it isn't the first time it happened either, but the girl hears someone say that they found her. Kosho told her that even though she might not have any friends, you can still have fun, and he asks her if she wants to play a game. The girl falls asleep on his shoulder, and Kosho hasn't seen her since. He thinks there's no way, and the doujin ends with Ayane asleep on his shoulder, with him thinking that he's seen too much games and anime with that kind of story. Overall, I rate this doujin a 0 out of 10. It's just so unrealistic. There's no such thing as gamer girls. That's what I'd say if I was crazy, because this story is a 10 out of 10 all the way through. The artwork and plot, and even the flashback in the end, tying up the loose end which was introduced earlier, was amazing. Everything about it was a masterpiece, and I recommend that you check it out for yourself if you haven't already. But that's all I got. I'll see you in the next one.
Attack on Titan, Tokyo Ghoul, these hentai babes make me drool. Hatsune Miku is great. She makes me masturbate. Fairy tale.